Hi team, we'll just wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll start the session.
Okay.
Hi team, so I think we can go and start the session. I think everyone is here. Let me share my screen. So before start of the session, if anyone has any questions, let me know. In the last session, right, what we are seeing, right, we are looking into that one, that okay, how we like what all these things are, right? The home navigation we are looking into that one, right? Today, right, what we'll do, we'll go and see that what are the OIC components, right? What are the different OIC components what we have? So we'll go and see that one, right? So if to create any integration, right, what we need, right? We need all these things. So it's not like we need always, but like there are something which we need always, and there are some things which we need at some point of time based on our requirement. So now which one are the ones which we need always, right? So if you say integration is the one where we will go and create the integration, right? So this we need always. Then connection, right? Connection would again will be required always, because with the help of this only, right, we'll create the connection. Then connection internally will use the adapter, right? So we can say that okay, adapter, connection and integration, these are the things which we need always. Then these things, right, we need based on the requirement. But package, right, package you can say that okay, this also we should use always, right? So you can consider package also as always. And these four, right, we can say based on the condition. Now we'll see that okay, here what all things are there, right? So first we'll go to the integration, right? So integration is the place, right, where we will go and create our integrations, right? So if you see, right, this window it is showing, right? So in this one, right, here the filters will be there. We can go and show all the integrations. So if you see, it is showing as of now, right, 286, 287 integrations. So why? Because though these 287 are the one which is created by this account. If I will remove this filter, right, what will happen, right? All the integrations will come into this one, right? 538 integrations. Now what is the next one, right? So this is the name of the integration, right? This is the table in which, right, all the integrations, right, whichever integrations we have created till now, right? So all those it will go and show. So here it will go and show the name, and then it will show the version. So version is what, right? Version is like suppose when we create it, it will start with this one. Then suppose if you wanted to upgrade, right? So you need this also, and on top of that one, right? If you wanted to create one more, right? So we can go and create the new version on top of that one, right? So this is like that one. Like whenever suppose this is already working, right? And now what will happen, right? Suppose customer came with some new changes, right?
Yes.
So what we'll do in that case, right? Instead of modifying the this code, right? What we do, we can create a new version on top of that one. So that okay, we will have this code also and new version also will have, right? So in this one, right? Like if you see three dots are there, right? So we can read this as a major, minor, and patch. So if any major change will happen, right? So we can go and change this to 2.0. If minor change will be there, right? So we can say 1.1. But if some patch, right? Like suppose some issues was there into that one, right? So if we're doing that one, so we can say 1.0.1, right? So in the like this is the standard which we are following. That okay, this is a major, this is a minor, and this is a patch. Then the next is a type, right? Type of the integration style it will show. So by seeing this one, right, we can go and see that, okay, what type of integration it is, right? So in this one, right, like we have three types of integration, right? Application, schedule, and the third one is the event, right? So we will able to see all those three here. So by just seeing here, right, we can go and see what type of integration it is, right? So this is a schedule integration. Then the next is the last updated, who has updated the last one, and then what is the status of this one, right? So if you see, it will show the different status: draft, active. Then if you see, right, configured. So these are the three status, right? Draft, configured, and active, right? So when these status will be, right? So when your integration will have some issue, right? Suppose you have created, but like it's not, all the issues are not resolved, right? So what will happen, right? It will be in the draft status, right? It means like there is some issue, there's something which, so it means like you cannot go directly to the activate this one, right? Then what the next one? Next one is like configured, right? Configured means you have written your code and all the code is correct, right? Error free. It means like if you wanted to, whether that is complete or not complete, that is the second question. So once it is in the configure, right? If you wanted to test it out, right, or you wanted to run, right, you can go and run, right? Why? Because it is error free, right? So you can go and add any logic, and if there's no error, right? So you wanted to run, right? You can go and run directly that one. So if you see, right, if I will come to this one, right? So this is the configure, right? So if you see, we are able to see the activate button, right? Then the next is the active. So once we do that activate, right, what will happen? It will come into the active status, right? Like this one, it will come into the active status. So what this active status? It means like now we can go and run, right? So these are the three status which we have. Draft, like whenever we create any integration, right? So by it will go into the draft status. Then once all the issues, all the errors are resolved, right? Then it will go into the configured state. Once it is in the configured state, right, we can go and activate. So once we activate, right, it will go into the active status, right? So how we will do this one? So if you said, and then if you see, right, when you are clicking into this one, right, so we are getting these options, right? So if with this arrow, right, you will get more details. So suppose if I will click, right, what will happen? Here more details will come. And one more thing, right? This diagram which you are able to see, right? So this diagram shows what type of connections we are using. So once you click into this one, right, it will go and give the name. If you see, right, here we are using trigger as a schedule. So if you see, right, trigger schedule, then what is the next combo? Then we are using HCM connection. Then we are using FTP connection, right? So from here only, right, we can see what are the connections which we are using, right? So it will go and show that information that, okay, these are the connections. If you see in this one, right, ERP connection we are using, and then ATP connection we are using, right? So that information it will go and show. And once we click into open details, right, so it will go and show that correctly. So it will show that, okay, this is the schedule, this is the HCM connection, this is FTP connection. Then what is the name, what is the identifier, right? What is the version updated by, created by, right? Then in which package it is, right? Then what are the tags, right? And what are the tracing, right? So all these information, right, it will go and show here, right? This is that like more information about the integration. Then on integration, right, what all things we can do, right? So these are the actions of what we can do. So we'll go and see these in detail, but not now. And these details, right? Actions, right? Actions will change based on the type of the integration. If you see, right, it is the graph, right? So for this one, right, we are getting different. Let me see. Yeah, this is in the active only. For this one, right, that it got changed, right? So these are all we have, right? Now suppose once in the active status, right? So we cannot go and make any code changes. If you see, right, this is in the active status, right? If you say that, okay, can we go and make any code changes, right? We cannot make the code changes. You see, right? It is open in the view only. Right? What it means, right? It means we cannot modify the activated code. If we have to make any code changes, right, what we have to do, right? We have to come here, deactivate this one, and then only we can go and make code changes.
So in
Right?
that
So
case,
this is,
then how can this, yes, sorry for the interruption.
yeah, please go ahead.
In that case, how can the service can run if someone submit the request.
Active status.
So when we want to do the change, make changes, right? We want to deactivate it. So in that case, if it get a request,
Right.
so how it will work?
So you are saying that okay, when you will deactivate, and that time if somebody will
Submit the
submit the
request.
request, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so one is like from OIC, right? We will cannot run. If you see it, this is the active. For example, if I will take this one, right? So it is in the active status, right? So if you see, I am able to see the run details button, right? So run button I
Okay.
will able to see. But when it is in the configured state, right? So the run button will not come. So from OIC we cannot do, right? Now the next question is like, can we do from the outside, right? Yes, we can do from the outside, right? But that time, right, what will happen, right? We will get that error that okay, the integration is not in the active status because it
Okay.
is
So,
Then that.
it is
um,
kind of a downtime, right? Downtime.
Yeah.
yeah, so for example, right? So I
Yeah,
want to do some enhancement, okay?
correct.
But I want to keep the schedule, okay?
Okay.
So in that case, so I create another instance or another version. I just want to keep
Yeah,
the
yeah. So the thing is like,
Existing instance
suppose,
again.
yeah, there are two things will be there. One is the clone and one is the create new version. So suppose
okay.
if you wanted to create the enhancement on top of this one, right? And you see that okay, this also we need, but along with the new modification, that also we need, right? So when there is any scenario when we need both the versions, right? So that time, right, we need to create a new version on top of this one. So we can come here and we can create a new version, right? So what will happen? This will also in the active status, and we can go and create this also. So if you see, right, this is
Yeah.
a new right?
Okay.
So we can create in that way, right? So what will happen, right? We will have both the codes because in that case, right, there is a possibility, right? Customer can come after 2 months or 3 months, right? That okay, whatever the old was, right? So that was the working fine. Please use that only, right? So for that
Yeah.
reason, right, we can use the create versions so that okay, we will maintain the action history kind of thing. But in that case, right, what will happen, right? The endpoints and all those things, right, will change. So we have to think about that one properly. So when you do the major changes, right? So that time, right, what will happen? The URL, right, will go and change. So once we come into that page, right, I will show you that okay, how the URL will change and in which scenario it will change, right? So those things. But like if suppose, so that's why like when it go into the production, right? So in the production, we will never make any code changes directly, right? So in the production, it is always in the active status only. We will do the development. We will do the development in the either in the development instance or in the UAT instance, and from there, right? Once it is working, right, we will just migrate. So there will be no downtime for the production, right?
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
So when
Any
you're
other questions if we
migrating,
have?
will it go as a new version?
No, 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 no. It will be on top of that only.
Okay. So
So
it
suppose
will be override.
if I mod, yeah, suppose it goes with the version. So suppose if I have like suppose in the development environment, right, I have updated these changes, right, 1.0.0. So I have made the changes. Now I will migrate this only, right? So in the production also it will override. If I will create a new version here, right, 1.0.1, right, and I will migrate, right? So in the production also new version will create.
Okay.
Right? So whatever we will do here, right? So based on that only, it will go there.
Okay.
If we created a new version, it will be go as a new. If we use the existing only, then it will go as a existing.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope you got that answer, right?
Yeah, Prashant.
Any other questions if you have?
So what is
So
the lock
Prashant,
status?
Yeah, please.
There is a locked
No.
status. Locked
Yeah.
status.
Yeah, lock status, right? So this will be there when suppose you are working, right? And some connectivity issue happened, right? So just to retrieve your old all the change, right? So suppose if you see this configured one, right? If suppose I will come into this one, right? So when it is in the configured, right? It means we can go and make the code changes, right? Now suppose I made some changes and then suddenly due to any reason, right? Connectivity issues or anything, right? What is happened, right? Like I got stopped in between only, right? So what it means, right? It means like whatever the changes I have done, right? So those changes, right, are not saved, right? Correct? So what in that case, right, what will happen? It will go into the lock status. So we cannot go into the lock status. That will be triggered automatically only. So if I wanted to put into the lock, right, I cannot go and put this lock. So the lock will happen automatically based on the connectivity issues and all, right? So that okay, you will able to retrieve all your changes. Now, if you see that once it is in the locked, right, what will happen, right? Only the whoever has logged, right? So that person can only unlock this one. If you wanted to, right? Suppose I was into this one, right? And it got locked because of my like in my session, right? So only I can go and unlock this one. Not other developers can go and unlock it because I know, right, what changes I have done. So if you in this case, if you click into open details, right, it will show, right, when it got logged and logged by whom, right? So it will say that logged by this account, right? Now this person can only go and unlock. So here we are using the common credit, right? So if you see, we will get this unlock button. But if suppose it was logged by somebody else, right? Then in that case, right, we cannot go and see this unlock button. So we can say unlock. So if you see integration is logged, unlocking the integration might cause data loss. Proceed with precaution. So now suppose if I will go into this one, right? So it is in the lock, right? So now if you say it is in the view only, right? So even we cannot make any code changes. We have to first make this one, right? View only unlock we have to make. So once we do unlock, right? We can say now it is in the unlocked successfully. So if you see, right, now it is in the configured state. Now if we go and see, right, so we can go and make any code changes and all, right? So that is a locked status.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, Prashant. Thank you.
Okay. So this is what we have, right, in the about the information, right? What all things we can, what all informations we can go and get from the integration page. Now, when we create a new integration, right, how we can do, right? So we can go and use this option. So if you see two options we have, import and create, right? So create is the one to create the new integrations, right? So whenever we wanted to create a new integration, right, so we have to use the create option. And in this one, right, three different options will come. Then what is the second button, right? Import button. So import button is there when we do the migration. Now suppose as we see, right, that okay, this is the completed, right? Now this code I have to move from this environment to another environment, right? Suppose only this one I have to migrate, right? So how we can go and migrate this? So we can come here, like this is the working code, right? So we can come into these actions and we can go and use the export option. So once we click into the export option, right, what will happen? .ir file will be generated. .ir, right? So what will happen, right? This IR file will be generating. Then what we do? IR file got generated. We can go to the another environment. Then we can click into the import, and then that file we can go and place here. So once we place that file and we can do import, so the migration will be completed. So this is how we can go and move one file from one environment to another environment, right? So this is what
So
we have.
Prashant,
Yeah.
so do we have only one method to move from one environment to another environment?
No,
Like,
no, we
do
have
we
some
have
other
any?
methods also. Yeah, this is only for the individual. So when you have to just migrate one piece of code, right? So that time in real project, right? When suppose 50 integrations or 100 integrations you have developed, right? So that time it is not possible to do one by one, right? So that time we will have these packages. So I will explain once we come to here, like what is this packages and all. But like this is for the individual migration. When one object you wanted to migrate, right? That time. But when you wanted to migrate, like suppose in this environment, right? We have 538 integration, right? And if you have to migrate all these 538, right? So that time, right? If I will say that, okay, migrate, right? So you say this is not that correct way, right? Or this is not the feasible, right? That export one by one, right? Because in that case, right, we will miss something, right? So that time, right, we have the packages
Right.
concept. So like whatever the integrations we need to move, right? Suppose out of this 530, right, we just need to move 50. If you have put that packages, right? Or if we can put the packages after also, right? If you see right here, if you see right, this was the package, right? B20 OIC, right? So what will happen, right? Whatever the package in this one, right? In this package, whatever the codes are there, right? Integration. We can go and move all those codes in one go, right? So for that
So
mass
on the
migration, we
basis
will
of
use the
project, we cannot migrate on the basis of project.
no, we can do that also. So that's why right? This is a generic, right? This is a generic. Then this is a new concept which came as a project, right? So in the project also you can go and do that one. So that's why there are different ways. We'll go and see all those,
Okay.
right?
Hey, Prashant, so
Yeah.
let's say I have only one instance, right? Only one OIC instance. Okay.
Okay.
So can I point to like different instances like dev, production, like that instead of, because I don't have a multiple instance to migrate, I just have only one. In that case, um, is there any way I can point? I do the point it to the dev instance, um, right? And then
Yeah.
once it is done and everything good, then I want to point to the production.
Correct.
Can we do that?
Yeah. So suppose if you just have one instance only, right? Then this same integration, right? You will use into your development environment also, UAT also, and production also. Then you don't have to change these URLs and all. Like whatever this is one, right? Same thing, right? Wherever you are configuring, right? So there you can go and use the same only. So development is nothing like any standard development, right? This is like we just created 3 different instances or 2 different instances for our thing, right? So that okay, all the development, right? All the testing and everything, right, will happen in the production, right? Only the refined code will go. But suppose if you just have one instance only, right? So in that only you can go do the development also, and you can go and use. So it means like same URL, right? You can go and use everywhere.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when I get tested, like, when I point it to the instance, where we can get the data and all, right?
Okay,
Right?
yeah, that you
Uh,
can change. Yeah, that you can change. So suppose
so,
as of now, right? For example, if you consider this one, right? So in this one, we are using the ERP connection and ATP connection, right? So this ERP is like development instance, right?
okay, so there you change
Right?
it to, okay,
Yeah. So in this connection, right, you can go and change the credentials. Then
I
it
see.
will point out to the whatever the concerned environment, right?
Okay, I
So
see.
there you can go and change. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you are
Any
saying
other
like
question?
for different environment, we need to create different connection. Like for ERP dev connection, ERP QA connection, like that, and then we can point out to respective.
Yeah. So we don't have to change this one. Like suppose we have created this connection, right, in our integration. Now we have to change the credentials of this only. So we can use the URL, we can change the credentials. It's not like we can come and we can change the connection itself in this integration. If we change, right, what will happen? Our whole integration will disturb. So normally, right, how we used to do, right, in the development environment, right, we'll have the here, and in this one, right, B20 connection, right, it will have the development environment credentials. When we move this from development to UAT, right? So that time we will go and configure the UAT credentials. And when it will go into the production, we'll configure the production credentials. So that okay, connection we are using same, right? Only the data into that one, right? That we are changing. Correct?
Okay.
Okay. So this is for the migration, right? When we wanted to create, right? So this is the create option. So in the create, right, what we have, right? We have three different type of integrations. So what are those different types of integration, right? So one is the application, second is the schedule, and third is the event, right? So we'll see what all these three integration styles are, right? So application is like, it will not start automatic, right? It needs somebody or something, right? Some event or something to start, right? So if you see, right, as the name suggests here, it starts running when it receives any event from an application. It means like if someone will trigger, right? If someone will press some button, right? Or some activity will do, right? Then only, right, this will go and start, right? It will not start automatically, right? Then the next is the schedule. This will run at a specific date and time defined in a schedule, used for bulk integration or file processing. What mean it means? It means this will run automatically at whatever the time we have specified, right? So suppose every hour, every day, every week, right? Whatever we define into the schedule, right? So based on that one, right, it will go and run. Now, if you ask me, right, what are the changes between tools, right? Only the trigger is the change, only the starting point. Rest all code, right, and coding approaches, right? Everything is same. Whatever the logic you can write into application, right? Same logic you can go and write into the schedule also. Only the change it is like the starting point. In this one, we need somebody to start. This will start automatically based on that schedule or based on that time, right? So that is the thing application. So in the generation 2, right, we used to have 6, but as I told, right, like around 95 to 98% of integration, right, will fall into these two categories only. So due to those reasons, right, so those two unnecessary, right, the file routing and the file transfer, right, so those things got deprecated into the generation 3. Then in the generation 2, right, we used to have two more, right, subscribe to OIC and publish to OIC. So those things rebranded as a event in the generation Gen 3. So what is this event? Event is nothing but like you can consider as a publisher and subscriber integration only. So what will happen, right? So this will start running when an event is published, right? So when we create any event, right? And then with the help of application or schedule, right? We will publish that event. So once that event is published, right? What will happen? This will go and start automatically. So in this one, right? Event, right? We need two integrations. One is the publisher and one is the subscriber. So publisher will be created with this one, but the subscriber, right? No, sorry. The subscriber will be created with this one, but the publisher, right? So publisher will be either application or schedule we will create. And in that one, right, we will publish that event. Once that event is published, right, then what will happen? The subscriber event will be created, like will be started automatically. So like how this will be starting, right? So suppose this is starting when somebody is pressing the button or something, right? This is starting when at specific time and all, right? So this will be starting at when event is published. So if you wanted to understand from example, right, this event one, right? So this is like suppose we are uploading the videos on the YouTube, right? So suppose in the YouTube, right, there are two types of community, right? Content creator and content consumer. So whoever is a content creator, right, what will do, right? They will upload the video to the YouTube server, right? So they will use this one, right? Either they will use application, right? So they will prepare the video, then in the upload, like they will upload the video and press that upload button. So once they press that upload button, right, maybe this integration will start, right? So it will upload into the server, it will go into the database, right? It will do all those activities, right? And along with that one, right, they will publish the one event also, right? That okay, subscriber event or video uploaded event, right? Then in that case, right, what will happen, right? Whoever has uploaded that video, right? So whichever, like suppose I am the content creator, right? So I have one channel, right? Then whoever has subscribed to my channel, right, they should receive some notification, right? That okay, I have uploaded some video, right? So what will happen, right? That we can go and write in this subscriber event. So in this one, right, what will happen? If our event is published, right? So what will happen, right? This will send the notification. So this is just example. It's not like only notification we can say. Again, right? Or same logic, right? Any logic you can go and write into any these. Whatever logic you are writing in the application, same you can write into the schedule also, and same you can write in, even in the event also. Only the change which is there into all three is like the starting point, right? In this one, the starting point is like we have to start. In this one, right, time is the start. In this one, right, that event is the start. Once that event is published, right, it will go and start automatically. So when we do that hands-on, right, so that time we will see in detail that okay how these three will be there, right? So that is the integration what we have, right? Now once we click into this any of this integration, right, then what will happen, right? The next window will come. So here, right, what we do, right, we have to give the names and all. So this is now two things are there, name and identify, right? So identifier is the one which is a primary key kind of thing you can consider. So this should be unique for all the items, right? This cannot be same for two integration. Name if you want, right, it can be same, right? So for example, right, I will write here B20 space item sync to ATP, right? For example, right, same name I have given, right? B20 item sync to ATP, right? So I have given the same thing, right? I will explain these things again, but like if you see I have given now if I will try to click into create, right, what is happening? I am getting the error, right? That okay identifier with the and version, right, is already existing, right? What it means, right? It means like this identifier, right, should be unique, right? Now suppose I will keep the name same, but in the identifier, right, I will go and change, right, _1, right? And if I will click into create, right, as there are one or more tags on the page, please correct them and retry. Okay.
And for that also, we need to keep unique one because
No, I
the
think this,
description itself saying same name not should not be displayed.
no, name would not be an issue actually. Integration cannot be created as there are more on the page. Please correct them. Okay, let us retry again. I will just refresh the page. B20 item sync to ATP. In the identifier, right, I will put _1 also. Now click into create. So if you see, right, it is created. B20 item sync to ATP, right? I can come back. So if you see here now, all right. So two integrations are there with the same name, right? So name can be same, right? But what is the change in both, right? So the identifier, right? If you see, identifier is _1 here, right? And in this one, right, if you see identifier, right? Identifier is like without _1, right? It means name can be same, but identifier, right? Identifier is the one. So normally, right, we don't have to put the same name, but because it will make the confusion for ourselves only. But in case if you need, right, it will be allow. Only the change which we have to do, right, is that it should not have the same identifier, right? Because it will go and throw that error. Now we can go and delete this one as we don't need. So we can say delete. So integration got deleted, right? So this is what we have. So now, right, this name, right, this name we will do, whatever name we will do, right, same way identifier will come, right? So we'll say B21 _ OIC _ sample 02, right? So if you see it, whatever name we are giving, right, that convert into the uppercase and it will come here. Next is the version, right? So as I told, right, minor, like major, minor, and the patch, right? So this will come into this one, right? So when we create a new versions and all, right, so that time, right, if you wanted to make a version history and all, right, so we can go and do that one. Then the next is the documentation URL. So suppose if this document, right, if this requirement is having some documentation, right, and if you wanted to put that one here, right, you can go and put that documentation here, so that okay, like if somebody else will come, right, so they can also go and refer that okay, why we have created this code, right, what is the purpose of writing of this code, right. So all those things, right, we can go and see in this case, right. So that is what we have, the documentation URL. This is an optional. If you want, you can put. If you don't want to put, right, there's no need of that one, right. Then the next is the keyword. So if you wanted to put some keywords, right, like why this integration is and all, right, so you can go and put those integrations here. With this one, right, what will happen, right, it will go and do the things, right. So it will like this is the for the searching purpose, right, and for the some costing and all, right. So keywords will be there. So if you wanted to put, right, here suppose B21, right, so you write some and then you put the tab, right. So what will happen, right, new tag will be created. Suppose this we are using for the REST adapter, right, so we can say REST, right. So all these things we can do. Again, this is also optional, right. If you wanted to put, you can put, otherwise there is no need, right. So this is what we have. Then this is the package concept, right. So here, right, this is the package name we have to give here. So this package, right, will be the one which will help us to create the mass migration, right. So it is always recommended that okay, if you are creating the integration from this one, right, if you are creating the integration from the project, right, then this option will not come, right. Then there is no need of this one. But in case, right, if we have created this one, right, at the generic level, right, so we should give the package here, so that okay, when we wanted to do the mass migration, right, so that time it will be help. So in this one, right, like all the existing packages, right, will be there, right. So suppose we wanted to put into this one, right, so here you can write B21, it will come, so it will go into the B21, right. If suppose you wanted to create a new package, right, like, right, so what will happen, right, you can just write _1. So if the new package will, if you put the new name, right, what will happen, the package will be created, right. If you put the same name, right, what will happen, it will go and put into the same thing, right. So that is the package what we have. Then the next is the description, right. So we can go and put the description. Again, this is also optional. Even the package is also optional, right. In this one, right, only these three things are the mandatory. Rest all fields, right, are optional. If you wanted to put, you can put. If you don't want to put, right, there's no need, right. So once you put all these things, right, what will happen, we can go and click into create. So once we create, right, what will happen, right, our integration will come into this one, right. So this is our integration screen. Here we can go and write all the codes and all, right. So this is a place, right, where we are going to write our all the code, right. So this is the designer panel we have. So if you see, right, in this one, right, we have not made any code changes and all, right. So see what in what it status it is, right, it is in the draft status. Now if you see it, any integration if you create, right, if you create a schedule also, right, so that also give you the same screen, right. If you create the event also, right, so that also will give you the same screen, right. It means like while creation, right, everything is same, only the thing, right, is like when we go inside, right, the time only, right, the things will change, right. So that is what we have is like integration, right. So any question into this page, right, if anyone has any question into this page, we can go and see more. But okay, so if no question, then we'll go and see the next topic. So connection. So before connection, right, so connection is like bigger topic, so we'll see this tomorrow. We'll go and proceed further. Then the next is the event, right. So if you see, right, here we have the third type of integration, right, this one, right, this one, right, event. So it is showing start running when an event is published, right, but where is that event, right, because it is not like some predefined event, right. So those events, right, we can go and create here. So this is a place, right, where we can go and create the events. Then these events, right, we will use in the publisher that okay, publish this event, right. And same event will be used with the subscriber also, right. So that is how we will go and use. So if you see, right, in this one, right, for example, if we go and consider this one, right, If you see B19 video, right? So in this one, 3 integrations are there. So you can see also from here, right? Usage, right? So where this is used. So once you click into this one, right? It will show the what is the structure of the table event, right? So this is the structure, right? Then if any custom headers, right, we are using, so that will come. Then if you see it, subscriber and publisher. So if you said this is the integration which is the publisher integration. If you see publisher integration, then this is a these two are the subscriber, right? So one event, right, can be used by multiple. Right now, what will happen, right? If you see right here, this is a publisher integration. So once this will start, right? So this one, right, is the normal integration, right? Application or the app, schedule one. So suppose once you start this one, right, what will happen, right? Both these integrations, right, will start. Right? It means like whichever integration, right, whichever subscriber integrations are using that event, right? So all those things will start go and triggering, right? So in this one, right, when this integration will start, right, and it will publish the event, so both the integration will start automatically, right? So that is what we have. So those events, right, we need to create here. So whichever is the one, right? So we can come here, we can go and click into create. So we can give the name, identifier will come, then it will come the description. And in the next one, right, what we have to do, right? So for example, I will say here test event, right? And we can go and click into continue. Then here we need to provide the file structure, right? It means like when the event will be published, right? What type of sample we can do, right? Or what type of code it will be. So here, right, we have the JSON and XML schema, right? So if you wanted to use the XML, right, you can upload your XML file, or if you wanted to use the JSON, right, so you can go and provide the here the payload. Once you provide the payload, right, then the next screen it will ask about the headers. That okay, if you wanted to put some headers also, right, so you can do. And once done, right, you can go and click into create. So the event will be created. Once this is created, right, then this event, right, you can go and use into your publisher integration for the publish purpose. And in that subscriber integration, right, you can go and use that as a trigger, right? So that is what we have the events in the OIC. So these events will be required here to create the third type of integration style, that is the events. The next is the lookups. So what is this lookup, right? So lookup is nothing but like in the code, right? If we have any, suppose you can consider, right, that okay, if we have to hard code something, right? So to avoid that hard coding, right, we can use the lookup concept. So what is it is this lookup, right? So lookup is nothing but like we can consider this as a table, right? If suppose I will come inside anything, right? So if you set in this page, right, what it will show? It will show the name of the lookup where this lookup is used, right? So this is used by one integration. You can go and see the name, right? So in which integration it is used, right? So it is used into this integration, right? Then if you see it has like domains and values, right? So what is the domain and value? So these are nothing but the column and rows. So suppose if I will come into this one, right? So if you see right here, what we have, right? 3 columns, right? So columns are the domains and values mapped are the rows, right? So if you see 2 rows are there, 3 columns, right? So that is what we have, right? Domains is 3, values mapped is 1. If we will go into this one, right? So in this one, right, what will happen? 5 columns are there, right? And 3 values are there. Like values, like row is 1 only, column is 5, right? That is what we have here, right? So 5 values, 5 domains and 1 value map. So as I told, right, like this will have the value, like table structure kind of thing, right? So if I wanted to show you something, say for example, right, this email thing, right? In this one, right, what we have, right? If you say it here, we have configured those things, right? So based on the integration, right, to whom we wanted to send that email, right? Or maybe like to, so what will happen, right? We know, right, these things are going to be the hard coded, right? This can be changed, right? So the information which can be changed, right, at any point of time, right? So what we do, right, we can create one column as the key column, right? So that is going to be same, right? That will not change. But what will happen, right? The corresponding values can go and change. For example, right, we wanted to send some email, right, through the integration, correct? So suppose some error will happen, then only we have to send that email, right? So for example, today, right, I am the project manager or I am the tech lead, right? So all the error notifications should come to me, right? So we have configured that one, right? And it is working fine, everything is okay. But maybe like after 3 months, right, I am leaving this project, I am going to into some other project, right? Or maybe I am leaving the organization, I am going to some other organization, right? So somebody replacement of my will come, right? Some new project manager will come. So going forward, right, he should receive those emails, right? But he whether how he can like get those. So we have to go into the integration, we have to make those changes, right? So wherever my email address is configured, right? So there the new person's email address needs to be configured, right? Then only he will get the notifications and all, right? So one is like suppose if we have put this into the code, right? So what will happen, right? We have to go into the code, we have to stop that one, like we have to deactivate, we have to go, make the code changes there, and then we have to activate again, and then we have to do. So in making those code changes, right, there is a possibility, right? Something can go wrong, right? And suppose that is a downtime, right? At that period of time, right? Suppose if somebody wants, because in the production, right, we cannot make integration as deactivate, right? Because if somebody will do some activity, right, what will happen in that case, right? So to avoid those hard coding and all, right, what we do, right, we used to have this lookup. Lookup is nothing but kind of table only. So in the table, right, we can create any number of rows, we can create any number of columns, and then in that one, right, we can go and put the data. But when we create a lookup, right, we just have to make sure one column, right, should be treated as a primary key. So in that one, right, all the values should be unique. Then only, right, we can go and achieve. Because when we return the value, right, it will check for the unique combination, right? Because suppose if both these names are same, right, for example, right, what will happen, right? It will go and throw error. That okay, two columns, right, two rows, right, should have the unique data, right? So that we have to keep in mind that okay, it should be unique always. So one column, right? If you say here interface, right? So the integration ID, right, we are using here as a primary key, right? So that we have to keep in mind that okay, one column should be there. So if you see, right, so we can go and use this for any purpose, right? So for example here, right, employee lookup, right? So here, right, we are putting the locations and all, right? That okay, we know, right? Like if you see that example of the Bangalore, right? So the name keeps changing, right? Earlier it was Bangalore, now it is Bengaluru, right? But the code will always be same, right? Mumbai, Bombay, right? All those are the different names, right? For example, right? But the code is going to be same, right? So that is what we have in this one, right? So we can keep the code and then the values, if they will change, let it change. There is no issue with us, right? So that is what we can do. Now, any limitation into this one? What are the number of rows we can create? What are the number of columns? No, we can create any number of rows. We can create any number of columns, right? So that is what we have into the lookup. Now here, if you see, right, here also we have the two options, import and create. So when we wanted to import, right, when you wanted to migrate from one environment to another, right, so we can go and use this import option. So we can export from here, hit export to CSV, and we can go and do the import into another, right? So whatever the file we have exported it, so it's the same thing, we can go and use this one. If we wanted to create a new, right, we can go and create a new lookup. So we can say,
So extension is CSV, right?
what?
Extension file is CSV, right, for lookups?
Yeah, yeah, it is a CSV file.
Okay.
So we can say B21 underscore lookup, right? So suppose this is our lookup, right? Keyword and description, if you wanted to put, you can put, otherwise that is optional, right? So we can click into create. Then what will happen, right? This is a default structure, it will come. Domain name 1, domain name 2, right? So when if we wanted to change these names, right, we can go and change these names, or we can start putting the data here. So for example, right, I will use this as a that location only, right? So I will use this as a PNG, and it is a Bangalore, right? So that is what we are, right? We can go and save. So if you see, right, it is in the configured state. It means we can go and use this one. When we have created, right, so that time it was into the draft status, right? So that time, right, we cannot go and use this one, right? Now we can go and use this one. Now suppose these column names, right? If you come back, right? So it is showing two domains, one values map, right? It means one row and two columns. This is not used by any integration, right? So it will show 0 integrations. We can come back inside this one. And suppose we wanted to make some change, right? So how we can do that one, right? So we can go and make the changes. Like suppose we need to modify this one, right? Domain name, right? So we can say edit domain name. So we can say here, this is the code. And this is the description, we can say, right? Or we can say full name, right? Full name. So we can go and change our own column. Suppose we need one more value, right? So we can go and create into this one. So one more column will come, right? So we can say country, right? So we can say, okay, country will also come. So we can say IN India, right? We can go and save. So the things got changed, right? Now suppose if we need to create one more row, right? So for column creation, right, we will use this one. For row creation, right, we will use this one. So we'll go and use this one. Now what we do, right, we can say here that, okay, we need one more, right? So we can say, well, we can say Delhi. This is in the India, right? So this is what we have. We can go and save, right? So now two columns. Now suppose if you wanted to delete, right, we can click into delete. So if you said once when only one row will be there, right, delete button will not come, right? So because one is kind of a mandatory, right? Because otherwise there is no point of creating this one, right? So when you wanted to delete one also, right? So that time you have to delete your whole lookup only. So one you cannot delete, but when it is more than one, right? So that time, right, you can go and delete. If I will come back, right? So we'll say discard, come back. So two will be there, right? So when two is there, right, we can go and click into delete and all. But when only one will be there, right? So that time the delete row will not come, right? So this is how we can go and create the integration. Sorry, these lookups. Now what about like when we have to create like a big file, right? For example, like if you see, right, all cities of India you wanted to put, right? Then in India, right, it's kind of a huge number of cities, right? For example, 200 is a count, right? So that time, right, how it is possible to put, right, one by one? No, that time, right, one by one it is not possible, right? So that time, right, we can go and use a local version. So that I will go and show you in the tomorrow session that, okay, how we can go and use the file or work on the file in the our local also. And then that we can go and use here. So if anyone has any questions, we can go and take those questions now. So tomorrow we'll continue from the lookup only.
So
Any
Prashant,
questions? Yeah,
so let's assume like we have used this lookup in one of the integration, and
correct.
after some time I just want to change this lookup value as per my requirement.
Yes, right.
So now I'm importing that integration. Okay. So
Okay,
if I am importing that, sorry, exporting that integration from one environment to another environment. So along with
right,
all the packages, lookups will be bundled, right? So
right.
the changed lookup will be bundled or not? That's my question.
Yeah, so whatever, like when you export, right? So that time, right,
Hmm.
whatever the lookup will be there, right? So that will be exported.
But I have changed something in the lookup. So the changed lookup will be come in as part of export or not? Or like it
No,
will
no,
come,
that will
right?
not come. No, no, lookup you have to manually export. That will not come with the integration.
Okay. But initially, if I'm not gonna change the lookup, then it will come, right?
No, no, when you export, right? So for example, right, if you export from here, right? So when you
Hmm.
export, only the integration and connections will go, not lookup will go. that due to that reason, right? If you see, right, in the lookup, right, we have the import option.
Okay.
So only the lookup will go, not the integration. Sorry,
Okay. So
lookup will not go
we
along with the
have
integration.
to
Yeah,
separately we have to export you to say.
yeah, we separately have to do.
Okay.
Any other
Okay,
questions if
in
we
the
have?
integration, any lookup is missed out, right? Can we get any related error?
Mm, No, no, we will not get that error. So when we okay, so related information, right? So in the integration, right? Related information
Yeah.
is a connection, right? So the connection will go along with that one. Then any other information which is missing, right? So when you do the error, right? Maybe like we'll try that one, right? I will do one round of migration only, and then I will show you that okay, what all the issues we can go and get, right? So that time
Okay.
you will be able
I
to
think
understand
Prashant,
properly that
I
one.
have tried yesterday. I have tried to export the integration where I have
Okay.
used one of the lookups, but I have seen that
Yeah.
lookup also migrated.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean
Lookup will
exported.
also go. Yeah. So I think whatever the related information, right? So those things will go, but we have to create that time. So I will explain that in one of the session, right? Like we will take the backup and then we'll delete from this environment all those things. And then when we migrate, right, we will see what all things will come along with that one.
Okay, sure.
Any other questions if we have? Okay. So if no question, then I think we can wrap up the session today here only. We'll connect tomorrow, same time, and we'll go to the, we'll start from the lookup only. That okay, how we can make the changes into local when we have to deal with the large number of data set. And then we'll continue the further topics. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Prashant,
Yeah, please.
just want to know the different methods of migration. You already mentioned, no doubt, like if possible, if you give any real-time example, how the migration is
Yeah,
happening from
yeah,
dev to
yeah,
QA,
we
then
will do
how
that one.
the fire files are we are commonly committing in the GitHub or something like that.
Yeah, sure, we'll do.
Okay.
I will discuss about that
Thank you.
migration. That okay, what are the different options we have for the migration?
Sure. Thank you, Prashant.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Prashant.
Thank you.